No sun will shine in my day today. No sun will shine. Come on, everybody. Get out your banana and eat that joker today. Because darkness all over the west. Darkness has covered the west. It's dark winter, and it's not a conspiracy. Change the day to night. Where is the love to be found? Tony's in the house. Good morning, and Darlene. Ooh, I'm not ready. See, life, sweet life. Bob Marley. It must be somewhere to be found. I know where it's at. It ain't in the concrete jungle. I said where? In the concrete jungle. No, it ain't. That's where the Joe Biden making fools is. Jungle. Oh, did y'all hear about the erection? The erection from the 6th? The erection. Apparently, nobody died from the erection. Did y'all hear that? When they stimulated the erection on the 6th? Apparently, the guy they were parading around on the news, oh my God, yeah, he died from like pepper spray, apparently, after they did the autopsy. And everybody else died of other causes, except for the one lady who was shot by your police state. So there you go. A lot of interesting things happening. They burning folks up in Philly. Have you heard of this? I had to see a man about a thing this morning for the car. I got to get some wheels on the pony. And apparently they're burning people in Philly. They're finding burning bodies all over Philly. Apparently. It's a thing. I heard somebody talking about it this morning. They said, look at the news. Haven't you been watching the news? I'm like, no, I don't watch the news because it's all old. Fearmonger, fearmonger, fearmonger. Well, shame on y'all. Got out there people burning people, relatives like it's some damn apocalypse or something. Understand this. All disease, all dis-ease is a side effect of what you put in your mouth. Almost all of them. There might be a few that aren't. And my doctor would tell y'all that, but y'all keep killing my doctors. Every time I get a doctor, the pharmaceutical industry kills him or he dies under mysterious causes. Bob Marley was a doctor. Because he taught love. He was a doctor of love. Good morning, everybody. I'm rambling right now because I give time for people to come in. I had to find the Russian word for live. People know on Facebook live over here. This is getting fun, actually. I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to Facebook. I think I'm so done with it. Where is it? I'm gonna show y'all the word for live. Yesterday I did the Mandarin word for live. We gotta learn the language. You learn this in training day. You better learn to speak the language of the people with the pie. If you don't learn to speak their language, they'll be plotting against you. Learn Mandarin and Russian, if that's a language. I'm not even sure if that's a language. Russo. I'll make up a word. They're gonna rule the world. We're gonna sit back and watch them. No, that's not. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna talk about Powah. Forgot about that's the wrong link. I do want to talk about that. Somebody posted a good post to the Invention Secrecy Act. I should read that to you. I don't do good at reading. Not a reader. I'm a software engineer, developer, systems engineer, all of that stuff. Permaculture engineer. Put me in all those categories. I am not a reader, thingy on the internet. Chris Hedges had a great talk this morning. If y'all have seen Chris Hedges, it's the right one. There you go. That's the Russian word. That means live. Learn it, because then when they show up like in Red Dawn and you want to live, you just want to post that. Put that on your forehead. You just write it right here. Like Red Dawn, they'll leave you alone. Good morning, everybody. I don't think Texas got their power. Who's that, Lori? Lori, you got your power back? You got your power? We need to blockchain the power. We need to decentralize the power. Because that's really what blockchain means. If you really want to dig into it, decentralize the power. Everybody needs to be a power station, and you need to block and chain the billionaires to not monkeying with your power. JP Morgan, he's the one who started all this bastard. And this is where the Invention Secrecy Act came from. She's been going over there. Hey, Christine, good morning. How's Belgium doing this morning? India's doing great, Christine. Speaking of India, she used to travel all over India. You know, India's doing fantastic, Christine. They're back to having festivals. They're out there in the street partying. You can't even get Americans to want to have Festivus anymore. Stop hating Festivus, damn it. I'm such a weird dude. I'm like yelling into my camera. Well, you can't make this world up. Oh, another thing that was interesting. Did y'all hear about the kid? He's 12 years old. He said the world came to an end. He said CERN ended the world in a dimension we came from. And when they collided them things together in CERN and what was that, Switzerland? That they created a whole new dimension and now we're in the upside down or something. String theory. The kid's very smart. Very smart. I'm not sure I believe it, but damn it, people's not getting not weirder. So yeah, yo, they're partying, and not only there, Christine, but down in Florida. We got people from Florida. Rebecca down there with them alligators. They down there partying too. They said the bars are full in Florida. People out there, they back to playing with ting-a-lings and ding-ting-tings and doing all that ting-ting stuff. Got the tender going, just tender on that. They back to doing it while people up north scared of the air. Remember this, they call it disease for a reason. Because if they call it its real name, all of them, not one of them, all of them. You talking about one of them, you worried about one. I'm talking about all of them. They all are suicide. They're food suicide. If you eat unfoods, you will die. That is a fact. Nature ain't going to change that. We've been trying for a long time. Nature is not decided to change. If you eat trash, you will die. That's all going to happen. What is trash? If it's got a TV commercial, it's trash. If you put trash in your body, all you're going to get is trash out. Now, let me bring up my honesty. Oh, Kim Iverson had a good one this morning. She went through the explaining to y'all that nobody died in the erection on the 6th. No, erectile, nobody died from it. The only person that died is the police. The Capitol Police shot one person. That was it. But, you know, some of y'all, we told y'all that. We told you. You didn't want to listen. You said, listen, everything is a false flag. They faking the funk everywhere they go. They go, Lori, you get your power back, girl. Did you lose your power? You can't see it. What can't you see, darling? What can't you see? Girl, open your eyes. Girl, open your eyes. It's morning time. This the frozen, I think, is this Dallas or Houston? I don't know where this is at. This is somewhere. I think this is where JR and them. JR, Falcon Crest, Dallas, the show used to watch. The oil barons is all frozen. I got out of there just in time. Hopefully y'all pipes ain't freezing. The more I read, the better I gets at reading. Yeah, you know what? That's not working for me. It's not working. I hate the king and his English, but I will say this. King Georgie, I apologize. I apologize for everything I've ever said about King Georgie. I want the king back, Adam. I want the king back, Dingle. Because we threw him out, and under the king, we were more free. Somebody, I need that sign that says, we were more free under King George. Prove me wrong with a cup of coffee like this. But y'all got to do it with a brown dude so I can do the face app and look right. King George, in his ancient wisdom, he gave us a hell of a lot more freedom than the United States Incorporated. I'd take him back any day. Get his little, dig his rusty butt up, put the robe back on, put him on a crown somewhere, let him sit in a chair. I'm all for that. No, I'm all for that. But what's coming? Oh my goodness, Chris. We're going to have to watch him, Chris Hedges. Oh, if you on the left, you won't get a booty protector or something because he just rolled it right in. And I love Chris Hedges because he rolls it in everybody. He gave it to the right. The right was upset at him. He was telling you the misogynist and this about your last president. And now he's hitting this one. He just telling us truth. You know what that's called? Because it make you mad and upset because you got your identity. It's called integrity. He's going to tell the truth. Oh, he rammed it in. He rammed it in on Jimmy Dore. He rammed it in deep. You want to get you a chastity belt or something because he telling the truth. Hey, Cuckoo is in the house. Good morning, Coco. What's going on? Whew, for now, your power. Okay, good, because they were doing the rolling power, I heard. I was trying to send my friends, Lori, everybody in Texas, going out there, find you a Dick Sports. Not Dick for Sport. I'm sorry, that it just fit. I don't know. It just go out to Dick Sports, going out there to Walmart, I think Target, any camping supply, get yourself a propane heater because they're going fast. I was out there looking around. They're going fast. You might have to drive to another state. Get them. Keep your pipes warm. Don't let them pipes burst. If you need to leave, leave. Drain the water from your pipes. If you lose your power and you got to go and you can't get your power back on, don't stay in your house. If your power is out beyond 2 days and it's going down beneath 30 degrees, don't stay in that house. Leave. Leave. And the criminals did this, Lori. Look, when real things happen around the world, we have to talk about real things. Hold on for just 1 second. I got to go on over here, put them on blast. Because I don't know who put this up. One of the good sisters put this up when I was talking about the Invention Secrecy Act of, when was it? 1951. She posted this, which is beautiful. I love FACA homohomes. Here go right here. Here go the details right here. I'm going to post that link. You can go on out there and read it yourself. Why is Texas out of power? Because your government is a criminal. That's why. Here go the link right there. Bam. See, go on and read it. That's what I tell people. You want to know what's going on? Read the law. Turn off the damn television. Read the law. It'll tell you right at the top. Need a little more details. Here you go, Adam. I'm going to make the screen big. I can't see the screen. I got to make it big so I can pretend like I can read. Here we go. My kids around and say, like, Daddy can't read. All right. Shut up, you little bastard. Secrecy of certain inventions and filling applications in foreign countries or in foreign country. Section 818. All you got to need is the first paragraph right here. I'm not going to read a bunch of it. Secrecy of certain inventions and withholding of patent. It gives them the ability to say you made something, but we own it and you can't tell nobody or we'll put you in prison. Whatever publications or disclosure by the grant of a patent on an invention in which the government has property interest might, in the opinion of the head of the interested government agency, be detrimental to the national security. The commissioner, upon being so notified, shall order that the invention be kept secret and shall withhold the grant of a patent, therefore, under the conditions set forth hereinafter. That is the end of the story. You don't have to read nothing else. You should read the rest of it. You can stop right there. All right. They don't want you to have technology. That's called technology scarcity. That's called, I believe in the spiritual world, people. I think everybody's sent here for a reason. Got them little girls in Africa. They're peeing in this machine and making power out of it. Men, we only pee for contest. We used to go camping, like, who get the farthest? Ah! Like when we were kids, size didn't matter. We didn't care nothing about that. We just get out there on the bush, like, go! All right, everybody drink and go. Like, oh, I got 7 feet. I won. Yes. Yeah, well, you know, it's not about the trajectory. You'll find that out later in life. But so, you know, women, little girls in Africa peeing in this machine, they're making power from it. You realize if American kids made a little machine you could pee in, it would make power, they would put that child in prison. And their parents are out fighting climate change. We have to fight the climate change. The fossil fuels. We stuck on the fossil fuels. They made it a crime for anyone to make any power outside of fossil fuels. This is why Texas is frozen. This is why people are dying. I make jokes, but I try to take the real world events and tie them back to very real things, because you won't hear nothing but bullshit on that television. You need to have real erections, real insurrection. Nice ones and friendly ones. Walk away. Peaceful. Not like, who was that? Who Chris Hedges was talking about. Can we do Chris Hedges real quick? Well, let me greet everybody. I didn't want to do Chris because he was talking about apparently, who's that? I think the man who killed most people on the planet in Washington. What was his name? Dang it, I always forget his name. He killed more people than people kill people, except for somebody else. Somebody else wrote a crime bill. We need to do the numbers on that. We do need, because he done got rid of a whole generation, that crime bill. And he wasn't alone. He got a lot of help, so I'm not going to put it on him. Old Sniffy. What was his name? Who killed most people on the planet? Somebody can answer that question real quick. But there was a time where I guess people had a real erection, because you can't say the right word. They had a real erection, and they all went down to D.C. with their erections. He was in the White House with the president, and they had to put buses. I think it was in the 60s or 70s. They put buses all around the White House and built barricades and stuff. Chris Hedges was talking about it. He said, oh, my God, they almost got in. They almost got in. They're going to get in. They're going to get us. Back in the day when we used to storm the castle and make the leaders climb up on the top and either commit suicide or fly away in a helicopter. And he talked about power, which is why I want to go through his video, which was interesting because this is about power. That the title is, and I don't know where this is going to go. I just did that because Texas out of power, and they banned power creation, and they banned blockchaining of the electric grid so that they could regulate it, make big money from it. Now people are dying. He made the point. When leaders fear the people get what they want. If your leaders aren't scared of you, you ain't getting a damn thing. If they're not scared of you, you clapping, dancing, and singing, and you got their buttons on your shirt and bumper stickers on their car and signs in the yard. I'm not a government person, perfect people. I don't believe in politicians. And even if we had a government, I mean, we do at the state level and below. You ain't got none above that. That's a corporation. All it cares about is profit. But I'm going to speak to the people who still believe in that, because I really don't care what people do for solutions. Just try. That's all I care about. Try to do something. Don't do the same damn thing. Try. So if you're trying, here's a little tip for you. Power doesn't care nothing about your votes. Power doesn't care nothing about your cheers and your clapping. They don't care nothing about that. Power doesn't care nothing about your niceness. And if you like them, if you call them, if you take pictures with them, they don't care nothing about that. Power only cares about power. And it only is bothered by fear. When your leaders fear you, they will do what you want. If your leaders have no reason to fear you because you're clapping for them and you're worshiping them and you think they're Michael Jackson, you're screaming like a little girl in the stadium for Michael Jackson, they're going to do everything corporations want them to do. Right? You want to get your country back? You want to get your freedoms back? You want to get all that back? You know what you got to do? You got to make them scared of you, however you want to do it. It's just my way is a peaceful way. I don't think they're scared of your violence. I don't think they're scared of your erections. You could insurrect all you want. I don't think they care about that. Not the violent ones. No, this is the most violent people on the planet. They love that. That's delicious. They eat that up. They make you terrorists and they get off and start a new endless war. They love your violence. They're fearful that you don't believe them anymore. I think that's all they're worried about. They want you to keep tuning in, keep watching, keep being scared of what they tell you to, keep buying the product they tell you to, keep following orders. All right, we'll do comments, then we'll go through it. But power is what I got is power has to go away. Power has to go away, and not in an artificial scarcity way like how they did to Texas and New Mexico, Nevada, all the rest of them people. It's freezing out there with no damn power. I had it bad once. I had to stay in the house for about 7 days with no power. I was ready for them, though. This whole dark winter thing, now this is not new. These people have been stupid long time. They didn't have that Invention Security Act since 1951. They've been stupid long time. They've been ignorant long time. I was ready for them. I always have kerosene heaters. I always got camping heaters. I always have propane or something to stay warm. You know, I come from a family where my grandfather, at the age of, I think he was 14, took his brothers and sisters, and because mom and dad wasn't doing right, well, I think mom died, dad wasn't doing right, something like that, packed them up, and I'm messing the story up. My family come around like, you done messed the story up. Shut up. Love you. He packed them up and moved to Maryland at the age of 14, bought some land, got a job, built a house, and took care of it. I came from strong people. You always got to have a means of keeping your house hot. You always got to have some wood. You got to have a stove, kerosene heater. If things can go wrong, they will go wrong. All right. Always have a gun. Always have a condom. Just in case. Just in case. Don't ever have a face diaper. Just in case. The things that work. And the condoms barely work, probably. This is why you got 7 billion people all over the planet. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. All right, there you go. I'm gonna read comments and I got to give voice to Chris. Chris is the man. He blew it up this morning. So, you know, I posted the link. You can go out and read the Invention Secrecy Act. It applies to everything. Why do people die around the world right now? And mostly it comes to the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951. Why? Because people were sent here as spirits, and everybody's got spiritual gifts. Everybody has passions. Everybody invents and does beautiful things to share with everybody else. And through that law, they banned you from sharing anything if you're sent here with a gift to help the world. Nikola Tesla, Edgar Casey, Einstein, they saw that coming. They said, oh yeah, so, see, and that's why I believe in like ancient, wisdoms. Because they knew back then that people were getting downloads when they go to sleep, how Edgar Casey told you. They knew that people were coming here. They knew people were being reincarnated with more information than what they were here with the first time. They knew all of that. and they need a way to ban it. And I think that's part of what that 4+1G is for, but that's certainly what that damn law is for. In case you make something that will upseat their power and give you some freedoms back like we had under King George. Like, no, y'all can't be that free no more. Hell no, he was only taking 6% taxes. We gonna take 30%. King George said you can grow anything you want. You can grow cannabis, Buddha bust, cocaine, crack. You can just put anything in the ground, grow, do anything you want. You can self-medicate, eat whatever food you want. You want to drink raw milk, whatever you want to do. It's your business. The king says, yo, I render unto Caesar, and I'm King Caesar, what is Caesar's, and unto the monkeys, what the monkeys. I don't give a damn what you do. You can't hunt on my land, leave me alone, go fight in my wars, and that's it. I'd rather have that every day under the United States Incorporated. I'd rather have that every day and Sunday. All right, anyway, they promising to keep the rolling blackouts. Yep, and they need to promise to go out there and find a guillotine, Lori. That's what they need to promise. I want some guillotine promises. I'm done with these people. They're all lying, all lying. I mean, Texas has a government. They do, but the government's controlled largely by the United States Incorporated. They wouldn't exist if they weren't taking their money. I'm kind of hoping y'all secede. I'm kind of hoping y'all get tired of it. You secede. And that actually is a very real solution. How do you stop rolling blackouts? You secede from the United States Incorporated. That's what you do. That Invention Secrecy Act goes away. You now have the ability to use any technology you want. Anybody can make anything you want. And I bet you, if Texas seceded, you would see those, how many was it, 200 engineers who tried to get Congress to release the 4,000 or 5,000 patents that most were related to energy production, Powah, for free. They'd all move to Texas with their inventions. You should do it. They can't go to, well, how come they don't just go to Canada and do it? Because the United States Incorporated will murder Canada and everybody in it. That's just how that works. That's how it works. That's how you end the rolling blackouts. You ain't got to get up on no pole and fix nothing. You just need to get rid of your affiliation with the people who think that power shouldn't be free. Yes, indeed. My friends in India told me, happy for them. Yeah, they're out there partying, Christine. They're out there just throwing that powder and stuff. What's that festival? They throw that pie at each other's face, all these colors and stuff. They're out there having fun, having festivals again. Americans are still scared. What gets me, Christine, we got this place over here called Florida. Got the oldest population on the planet. You go down to Florida and their canes got canes. They wrinkles got wrinkles. Their ash got ash. They just old people. The biggest retirement community in the world, Christine, and I'm probably making that up, but it's the biggest one in the United States, certainly. It's in Florida. They opened everything up. Down there partying, dancing, singing, throwing juice everywhere, just having fun. And they have one of the lowest death rates. Imagine that. Imagine that. Why in one of the oldest states do people survive this thing the best? But in the states with the youngest people, that's politically motivated, the young political people, now that they made politics sexy and racist and all the delicious things that the fools wanted to be, they die like, oh, we're dying, we're making it all. I say, grandma. While they popping donuts in their mouth. Boy, I tell you what, you eat trash, you're going to die trashy things. That's just how that works. Anyway, people believe what they want to believe. I don't really care. If you're scared of air, be scared of the air. Damn it, I'm scared of alligators. That's why I ain't moving to Florida. They could be in bars all they want. I ain't moving down there. Hell no. No. They still got people that live in the swamp. They got swamp people. No, alligators, swamp people, and skunk ape. Those are all the reasons I am not moving no damn Florida. And plus, when you get down there, they got, oh my God. I like to wear shirts that don't have black circles under my arms. Like, it's a thing in Florida. It's a style that every time everybody go down there, you got to have like a black circle. The air is just too thick. I like air. I like to breathe, y'all. I get out there, open the car door, and you want to breathe in that Florida air. You can't because you choking on water and moisture. It's just too humid. It's too humid. Y'all mosquitoes too damn big, too. All right, love you, love Florida. Y'all open. Look, I take a vacation though. I have vacation down there for a year if I got to. If y'all don't open this thing, if y'all don't, well, I don't really care if they open up again up here. I don't really care. I'm done. All right. Look, I got to move to a state that at least has the freedoms under King George the 5th, 4th, or the 7th. All the King George gave us more freedom. You just had to watch your children with the king. Because the king and the lords, they like that pedophilia that you can't say. But, you know, it wasn't nowhere near as bad as Washington's, boy. I was talking to somebody about that earlier. We were talking about pedophilia. We got to fight pedophilia. Oh, yeah, you do. Well, you better start with Washington. You better start with the number one number one project for pedophilia in the world, which is mass incarceration. Grabbing little kids off the street and throwing them in prison with grown men that ain't seen women in 20, 30, 40, 50, some of them 100 years. You know what it does to a man when you don't see a woman for 3 months? Yeah. You makes you want to have an erection. They're going down to Washington, D.C. Start a capital. All right, I'm sorry. Pie. That's what it's about. That actually is on the topic. Pie. That's on the topic. Pie. Do not empower a man to walk out in public and you just, hey, you got a banana in your pants, brother. No, I ain't no banana. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I know it shouldn't have gone there. Too much coffee. Blame it on the coffee or the rain. Anyway, America has been partying for 240 years. Party time is over. Time to clean it up. Yeah, Adam, and it doesn't. The funny thing is, Adam is like your mama just came home. Yeah, the party at nighttime. Like, it's party. Yeah, the party ain't never gonna stop. Ain't never gonna stop. Dancing on stuff, throwing food and juice and beer everywhere. Women running. Hey, mama come home. Oh, the party's over. It doesn't really matter what you want. You gonna clean it up. It does not matter. America is being collapsed, people. That's why I said learn Mandarin, learn Russian. It's not personal. It is not a personal thing at all. Somebody told you from the very start of this, if you want to know how your world works, listen to the bankers. Listen to the currency manipulators. Those are the people. Money makes the world go round. And the only reason that you are the front of the empire is because people with the money want you to be. When they don't want you to be, they're going to remove you from that seat. So as soon as cuckoo happened, Adam, what did I say, Dingleberry? If you was around here, you knew exactly what I said. I said Big Pharma pulls it every day. Every 2 years they pull this. They're getting away with it, but there's something else going on. This ain't right. No, something else is going on. And in the YouTube channel, Best Evidence, the brother that follows the banker. So all that billions, money that's never moved around in the Federal Reserve since the Federal Reserve was the Federal Fake Reserve. It's owned by international billionaires. This is the event. They're just collapsing the currency. That's all they're doing. The dollar's being collapsed. And actually, Chris Hedges wrote a good book on that as well. The what's it called? The Collapse of America, the Fall of the Empire, something like that. That's all. The empire's being collapsed. Doesn't really matter if y'all don't want to clean up. It's going to get cleaned up. And the longer you wait to clean it up, you can clean it up your way, or you can wait till mama come through that front door to clean it up. Because, I mean, the party's still kind of going on. Not really, but kind of. And mama just pulled up out front. People, look, you can get your friends out the back. We can clean it up our way. We can take the land back. We can grow food. We can live in tiny houses. We can be free. We can sing kumbaya, make some s'mores around the fire. We got to give up some creature comforts, but we can go out and just be insurrectionists and just go live out on the land. We can do that. You can clean it up that way. In that example, that's just getting everybody out your house. Like mama out front. All right, go outside, stall mama real quick. It's not going to be her new normal. We're going to clean this junk up and start cleaning up the vomit, vacuuming and stuff. Get your friends out the back. Women, put your drawers on. What you nobody invited you anyway. Get out of here. Clean up the house. You can do that. I just don't agree with the new normal, Adam. I'm not interested in that new normal. They can take the old normal, the new normal, and shove it where the sun don't shine. People dying here. And this is the thing, Lori. This is why we have to take very real stances when people die. And let the political people go around, kick around the political bull. Take it right back to the law. Until we have all available technology in the public domain for power development, I have zero interest what any politician got to say about power. I have zero interest what they got to say about storms, power outages, anything. It's all bullshit. We're in the matrix. If you are only given part of the story, you can't make a good decision. And people are dying. Do we give a F? That's the real question. Do we care enough to actually research and read the law and say, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to be right. If this could save people's lives, why in the world do we have them on a power grid? If people died, it's almost criminal collusion that you're going along with this, that the law even exists. That's an insurrection. That's not an erection. That's a reason for people to get upset. Don't get upset. People just read the law and talk to people that you know. Say, you ever heard the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951, a law designed to keep us on fossil fuels and power grids because they're profitable and people die every single day because we don't have the real technology in the public domain because they like to make war. They like to go blow up other people and steal their resources. Word has been on the screen. Yes, it has. Pa! That's the word. No rolling blackouts. He already said no rolling blackouts. Oh, there go, brother, right there. I can't talk to you right now, brother. That's the brother about, need to see a brother about a horse, not a horse protecting him. Cow. It's my brother goes. Them beef cows. I'm a vegetarian, but what I need to do, you know, everybody got to come with us. I don't judge nobody. You can eat meat if you want to. Do what you want. You know, shoot. You can eat donuts and get the cuckoo. I'm fine with that too. Just don't blame nobody else for your bad behavior. You make your own decisions. You save grandma and stop eating things that cultivate the things that's going to kill other people. That's how you save grandma. But if you want to do that, then you go do that. All right. Anyway, no water rolling blackouts. It just set my mind in a different place because I got to holler at him about a few things. No water running blackout. And water is another thing, Lori, which is crazy. Everywhere all over Texas. I was looking at the Texas water, Texas groundwater yesterday. And the Texas groundwater got water everywhere. Water's everywhere underneath all the Texas. Why I ain't got no water? Because they put you on another grid, right? But once again, they put you on another grid to regulate the water. And so they can put all the chemicals and whatever, and they control. If you control the land, the water, and the food, you have a perfect slave plantation. You get to choose who dies, when they die, how often they die. And that's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea. All right. This is absolutely sick, Lori. It is sick, Darlene, and that's why we got to do something about it. Walk away. Walk away and tell them and let them see you do it, Darlene. Walk away, and Darlene, use a Darlene. I'm pretty sure you use a woman. Just walk away and let them see. Because y'all know how y'all do it to men. You walk away. Oh, girl, is he looking? And kind of get that switch going like, yeah, I'm walking away. I'm elected, and he going to see me walk away. Walk away and let your government see you. Let your leaders see you walking away. I'm out of here. I don't have nothing to do with y'all. Y'all crazy as hell. Y'all killing grandma and babies too, and people in blackouts. Shame. Shame. Great. Wait till Jesus come back. Jesus gonna come back with a belt and a lightning bolt. All right. I have never I have never had a president ever. I did, Adam. I did. I think at that point I was probably only sperm and probably an egg in two different people. But I had a president. His name was Ulysses S. Grant. I had a president, and it wasn't like somebody I wanted. It was just by birth. And he still is the president. He's just being eaten by worms at the moment. Yeah, Dark Winter stuff. Yeah, which is funny, Lori. I like Dark Winter as a conspiracy theory. I don't like it as what they're actually rolling out. I have patients that are at risk of death, no dialysis. And see, and that's another one we don't talk about. It's the hospitals. Lori works in the hospital. So she's seeing it. Like, there's so many aspects to letting people not have power that we can't even fathom. There are so many ways people can die and bad things can happen by not having any power. That's why I'm a proponent of open source world. You got to have an open source world. You can't have any secrets. The kings and lords cannot have anything hidden, and you can't have any lockdowns, which is another thing. Power outage, hiding technology from people is a lockdown, right? You don't know how many people are going to get hurt, when, how, where, or how many. You know, people take care of themselves better than any central managed anything ever will. Everything is closed here, no dick sports. Okay, it didn't say that on their website. I was out there looking at their website, but I didn't look if they were open or closed. That actually is a good detail. I was just trying to look and see if they had camping equipment. I try to post things that are helpful to people, only because I'm in a cold state. Yes, let's do Chris Hedges. Let's do Chris. Where is Chris at? Oh, man, it was powerful. I mean, and he just, just try to keep in mind that he was hitting the right hard for the last 4 years. Now it's time to hit the left. But he says very truthful things. And unfortunately, a lot of people who are disassociated with the people they're speaking for are still speaking for people that they don't know nothing about. And so he was trying to explain to the left that you're next. You think this is for you. This is not for you. This is for everyone. What they do to them, they are coming to do to you. That's just how that works.
I mean, how important is the creation of a strong third party to change our political system?
Well, I haven't voted for a Democrat since before 2000, and I mean, I know all of the roadblocks both parties throw up. I watched it with Ralph. It's pretty vicious, including keeping them out of the debate. If you can't raise, hundreds of millions of dollars, you have no media access. So you can draw crowds. Ralph could draw crowds of 10,000 people, but he couldn't ever speak on a televised platform. He was locked out. But I think that I think asking whether it's viable, I think they will make it very, very difficult. But I think the more important issue is that the failure on the left to stand by what it said it believed. I mean, the Democratic Party has betrayed every principle the left claims to support, which is why the self-identified left are a laughingstock. It's why they have no credibility. And Richard Rorty in his last book.
Hang on. So before anyone gets led astray, because he's abusing your identity, first of all, maybe you shouldn't have that identity. And two, understand who Chris Hedges is. Chris Hedges is someone who spent his entire life helping people as a journalist and working from within the prison system. He knows the people who are abused by this system the worst, with all skin colors, from all political parties and all religions. Because when the popo come for you, they don't care nothing about that. They only care about their paycheck. And the paycheck comes from abusing you and putting you in prison. So you want to just hold out and listen to his whole message, because he gave it to the right real hard. Now he gives it to the left. And how do you end the lockdowns and free the people? How do you end the power outages? You stop believing in a political spectrum that bipartisan agrees that the power should be out, that there should be rolling blackouts, that the people shouldn't have the levels of technology that will keep them alive. The very basis of what a government has to be, if you believe in such a thing, it has citizens, and it looks out for the citizens more than it feeds money and power to corporations. All right. That's the bare minimum if you believe in government. We don't have one. And he articulates it best that we don't have one. Both the left and right have sold us out a long time ago. And it's United States Incorporated. It literally buys, like how it buys the states, because they print the money and they're with the billionaires internationally that do that. That's how they get other nations to go along with all this bullshizzle.
Achieving our country writes about this. He said that what happens is that that hypocritical, bankrupt, spineless, self-identified left becomes hated. This happened in Weimar. It happened in Yugoslavia. And as Rorty says correctly, what takes place is that there's a wholesale revulsion towards these self-identified liberals, but more dangerously to the supposed democratic liberal values that they promote. And that is what feeds these proto-fascist movements, which we saw last week. And so the failure, I mean, we should have walked out on the Democratic Party in 1994 after NAFTA and stood by the working class. And we didn't. And they know it. And much of my family comes out of that lower working class in Maine. And I've seen their communities and lives. And I mean, my grandparents, where my grandparents' house was in Maine, the bank is boarded up. There was a Methodist church that caught on fire and burned. The town doesn't have the money to raise it, so it's just charred embers. I mean, there's methamphetamine labs all over the place.
And why? Why does that, if you're not familiar with America and NAFTA, why does that make any sense? Well, NAFTA was a war on small business. NAFTA was a war on sustainability. NAFTA was a war on virtual blockchain, if you will. The idea that you're supposed to buy local. That was the law that allowed free trade to occur. So now, people in, as an example, Mexico that work for a few pesos a day could now grow your tomatoes, and the tomato grower down there or up here could, somebody who didn't grow tomatoes up here, could buy them from Mexico, basically have slaves grow them, send them up here, and put every tomato business out here out of business. And this man don't know nothing about growing no damn tomatoes. Right? NAFTA did that. That was a war on the middle class. War on the middle class. All of this is to rob the middle class and to feed that wealth higher to the 0.01%. But of course, it's going to go through the 2%, then the 1%, then the 0.01%. And he's right about that. There should be no global trade. TPP, that should have been gone, and we should have PP'd on it. Now they're talking about redoing it. Why? Because they don't want local, strong, sustainable businesses. Local, strong, middle-class, sustainable businesses can actually stand up to government. And they don't want that. They need people to be broken. They need you to be in your house like a slave with a face diaper, listening to everything that they say, waiting on their salvation. Man always wanted to be God. So man killed God and became God. And that is what you worship.
That's what we've done. That's what the Democratic Party has done. And the self-identified liberal class has done. And that's why they hate us. And frankly, we deserve to be hated. Well, I mean, I don't consider myself a liberal, but I totally get that hatred because they can.
And he gets the hatred. Why? Just to clarify once again, if you getting snot bubbles and the bubble guts because he's saying things that you don't like, he was the left. He and Jimmy Dore too. They both were left people, but they were people who could process information and change their behaviors. And I'm not saying I'm a proponent of Jimmy Dore or Chris Hedges. I'm saying they both say very powerful things if you're listening. I appreciate people with integrity who can hear information and change their behavior. He's speaking the way he is because that's what he identified with mostly. And now he's more a moderate because bipartisan, nobody's coming to save us. This bipartisan, they're all in it together. With corporations, both political parties take all the money from the same corporations. Do you really think that they're going to do anything different? No. Their job is to talk to you different, play good cop, bad cop, while the third cop runs it up in you. All right. You want to help people in Texas. People are freezing and dying. You want to stop pedophilia, end mass incarceration, stop the wars, in this corrupt banking system. Then you have to start to have no identity and probably be politically agnostic. But certainly realize that nobody in power, none of these leaders are here to help you because you're scared of them. They're not scared of you. Leaders only act for you when they're scared of you.
Continued to speak out of both sides of their mouth. They continued to speak in that traditional feel your pain language of liberalism while putting a knife in the back of these people. And they know it. So the hatred for the Democratic Party is far fiercer because there was a time when, organized labor mattered. It doesn't matter anymore. And that was Clinton, by the way. I look at, we have two quote unquote liberal presidents, let's say of the 20th century, who were truly, truly dark figures. One was Woodrow Wilson and the other was Bill Clinton.
So I tried to make the case to people who urged me to always vote lesser of two evils. And I said, Bill Clinton was not the lesser of two evil. And they don't understand. And I try to tell them that it took a Democrat to pass NAFTA, but George Bush the first couldn't pass it. It took a Democrat blue dog to come in and give cover to the other blue dogs to go against the unions. And that's exactly what Bill Clinton and Al Gore did. And when they started the Democratic Leadership Council, which was a response to Ronald Reagan kicking their ass for 8 years, they decided to, if you can't beat them, join them. And they started the Democratic Leadership Council, and people on the executive board were right from the Koch brothers. That's who Bill Clinton turned into. He went on to gut welfare while he exploded the prison population, passed NAFTA, and then he went and he deregulated Wall Street, which led to an economic collapse within 10 years. That's the success. And they did the Telecommunications Act, which now you can't get the truth about anything.
And let's not absolve Biden. Biden was instrumental in all of that.
Yes. So my point is that they're not the lesser of two evil, right?
Well, the problem is that most of the self-identified left, and I live in Princeton, they're all, mostly liberal Democrats. They have no relationships with people who have been victimized by this system.
I know.
And so for them, it's all an abstraction. I teach in a prison. Mm-hmm. So in the early 70s, we had 300,000 people in the prison system. By the time the omnibus crime bill, which Biden pushed through, and Biden used to go around bragging that he'd increased death penalty laws, federal laws, by over 50. He used to brag about this. The whole militarization of police, that was Biden. Biden shepherded that through. So I come out of that prison, at least half my students, probably more, wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for Clinton and Biden. And the devastation that has visited on them, on their families. And remember, almost half our prison population never committed a violent crime. They're locked up. You got people, I've taught people locked up, they can't get parole. They're locked up for life on drug charges. This is ridiculous. But that's all Biden.
I know.
And And so when you have a relationship with people who have been, their lives have been destroyed, how can you then go out? I mean, I also spent a lot of time in Gaza. I can't betray these people. And the fact is that the self-identified liberal class who pretends that they care about all of these issues through their money, through their support, and through their shaming of people who don't fall into line behind the Democratic Party establishment, have completely written themselves out of the political landscape. They have no relevance anymore at all, nor should they.
So,
does politics have any relevance? That would be my real question. So this is where I'm saying I agree with Chris in a lot of ways because he has a lot of experience in places I don't. I grew up around a lot of very poor black and white folk, but I've never worked with them in the prison system. I've been to prison many times on the non-United States Incorporated side of the bars, but he has information as to who's in there and why, right? He has empathy for the people who are there and what got them there, you know. But as far as politics, I think that the reason that the whole system exists is because politics, like the idea of turning against people for the sake of they just have a different philosophy. We're all in it together. Right? We all get power from the same place for the most part. And either we agree everybody has a right to it or they don't. Right? We all get food from the same place. We either agree everybody has a right to it or they don't. We all could have land. We agree everybody has right to access to it or we don't. And as long as we don't, then they can give everything they want to the corporations who actually lobby them to do so. And this is the whole point of, once again, is if you're united and you decide that, no, everybody's going to have equal access to the things that keep them alive and let them thrive so they don't become narcissistic, psychopathic survivalists who come for me because I got a little bit more or I'm doing better with what I got. Until everybody has equal access to the things that they need to live, then they're going to act like they need to live. That's the only reason violence exists. It's politics. It's a rob Peter to pay Paul strategy. I'm Peter and I'm right, so I get to rob you, steal what you have because you need to be like me, and that needs to stop. I'm just not a political
what do you
person.
see going forward? I see exactly as predicted. The Democrats will be wiped out in 2022 in the House and the Senate, and then they will lose the presidency to a more competent Donald Trump, and unless they lose it to Donald Trump himself. What do you see going forward?
Yeah, Biden is like, if you go back and look at Weimar, so 1932, von Papen takes power, and he wants to bring back the ancien regime, which is exactly like Biden. He wants to recreate the Clinton-Obama era. And it's this kind of conservative utopianism, which isn't going to be achieved. So it does two things. One, it further pushes a huge segment of the population towards extremism because they feel completely locked out. Their voices are locked out by digital platforms. They're ridiculed on mainstream media. They believe, that the election was stolen from them. And the other thing that it does is seed the ground for somebody who can do this with some competence. A Tom Cotton. I mean, these are, Trump. He had the attention span of a 4-year-old. He was utterly inept. He was incapable of organization. He was, to call him a fascist. He had no real ideology. His ideological void was kind of filled by Christian fascism. But I think that, yes, I think that the trajectory as it looks from the Biden administration ensures further misery, further dislocation, especially with the economic fallout from the pandemic, which is already severe. And people, as Barbara Ehrenreich said, being part of the working poor in the United States is one long emergency. That's yes. Right.
Of course, I had to stop there on the whole, P word. I think we've been in a P for at least 200 years. I don't know. When did big corporations start having commercials on the radio for Ovaltine? Ever since food had commercials, we've been in a P. And people have been dying in all the different on all the different continents to definition from not knowing what food is, because something was made popular in commercials. And the people who play the commercials, the broadcast stations, won't tell you the truth about what happens when you eat those things lifelong or too long. You die. You have to eat real food to have a real immune system. If you don't eat real food, you're going to die. Nobody can stop that. You know, and that's what all my doctors say, who are all dead because the system killed them, or they mysteriously disappeared, or they mysteriously died, or they went to prison and died. All of them. They said that dis-ease is dis-ease. You stop eating the things that make it easy for your body to live in the ecosystem, or for your body to live. And when you stop eating the things that make it easy for your body, it gets hard on your body. Then you get snot in your nostrils. You got congestion in your chest, and eventually you'll die if you don't eat the things that make it easy. Assisted suicide, I'm fine with, people. I don't have any issue with that. If you want to have suicide by Twinkie, go do that. If that's what you need to do. If you want to do it by doctor, go do that. I wish that you wouldn't, but I'm gonna call it what it is. All right. It's food suicide, unfood suicide. It's not disease. And most disease are unfood suicide. And the reason they call it disease, because disease sounds mysterious. We've been in an epidemic for a very long time because they won't call it what it is. When you call it assisted food suicide, then the grocery stores go out of business unless they go back to selling real food.
All of that's gotten much, much worse, and I think will get worse. Biden will be far more aggressive in terms of shutting down voices on the left than Trump. You know, there aren't many, frankly, but people like Matt Taibbi, people like Glenn Greenwald certainly will be targeted. I mean, look what happened at The Intercept. There's the perfect example of the bankruptcy of the self-identified left. I was a journalist, for most of my life, and what Glenn did was report the facts, and then when they wouldn't publish his story about the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop, you have interviewed Glenn, so you know all this. What did they do? I mean, he published the traffic, so it was incontrovertible that it was censorship. I read it. I mean, but what did Betsy Reed and all these people at The Intercept do? They went after him personally. It was really outrageous.
Yes, I know. That's right.
Respond to the facts. It was character assassination. And so I think what we'll see is, especially as things unravel, all of the Silicon Valley, which is essentially tied with the Democratic Party corporate establishment, will be used heavily against the left. I think that the divisions will grow within the country. I think the economic crisis, and who knows when we'll ever get COVID under control, I think all of these will combine to see the rise probably of somebody who, you know, when they carry out something, this wasn't an insurrection, by the way, but when they carry out an insurrection, it'll work. You know, they're there. I mean, there's some very malevolent political figures lurking on the fringes of the landscape.
Does anybody think they're ever going to get cuckoo virus under control? Me personally, I don't, because they never got cancer under control. They just made it an industry. They never got cardiovascular disease under control. They just made it an industry. When significant amount of corporations start profiting from a thing and it becomes an industry, there is no getting it under control. It's not a problem. It's just another department. It's another tool for making profit for a massive corporation called the United States Incorporated. They're not trying to get it under control. I think that's where I disagree with most people. Is that you believe that they're trying, and I don't think that they're trying. I think that they're looking for opportunities to make profit. And so you got people making face diapers. You got people writing software to trace and contact. You got people printing new ways of passes like dogs to make sure you can't fly or you can't go in a grocery store unless you scan a badge or something. You got all these corporations lining up to make profit, and they profit from it because those corporations pay taxes. Right? People make money working for them with the income tax. You know, it all feeds this system. So I don't think that they're trying to solve anything. They haven't solved anything. Who was it? Chris Rock. He was kind of famous for saying that, You know, when's the last thing they cured? They haven't cured anything since polio. And we all laugh, the pharmaceutical, they don't want to cure anything. Yeah, he's right. You know, it's funny. They ain't cured anything since polio. Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, they ain't here to help. They here to poison people. And that's some bullshit. If you really look into it, that's even controlled. Polio was on its way out. It was already like, yeah, I did what I was supposed to do. Your immune system starting to take care of it. I'm out of here. I done did it. I'm on my way out. You know, and they came in, pharmaceutical industry, after killing a bunch of people and giving a bunch of people polio. They created something that they could inject in. You say, hey, look, we did it. We solved the problem. Yay! And what did it do? Started a whole new industry. And we can't get rid of it. But if you spend time on the high wire, you'll understand that in 1974, that industry was made obsolete, which is why anybody asking that question, are you going to get a shot, is somebody who is not paying attention. All right. Everything is for profit and is profitable because of her. I threw her up there for something else he said, but it still fits in with the times. Everything is artificial scarcity. Everything is the Hunger Games, from your health to your food to your water to the power, because they got the power, right? That's the whole false world matrix that we live in. Everything is a Hunger Games. If your body is starving of the nutrition it needs and they got all the nutrition they need at the top, they're fine with that because they know you're going to turn against your neighbors. And as long as you got neighbor fighting neighbor, left fighting right, the whites and the blacks, Christians and Muslims, all that, everything works out. As long as you hate China or Russia, something, as long as you hate somebody, it's all good. You know, and that's how this system works. It is an artificially, is a system based in artificial scarcity that takes from you things that you need, so you'll be in conflict with others, so the corporation, the industries, and the families that own those at the top keep rolling.
Mike Pompeo, or it may just be somebody we don't even know yet. But I think that's it. I think this is kind of, you know, the game's over. You know, the tragedy is that we weren't able to put the Democratic Party would have never allow it to happen, but we weren't able to put in a figure like Sanders or others, of course. But the problem with Sanders, he'd be largely paralyzed by Congress. But to push through the kinds of radical New Deal type reforms, although is universal health care radical? I mean, every industrialized country has it.
It's radical to not have
radical.
It.
It's and you know, our healthcare system is by far the most expensive, least efficient. I mean, it's just so to somehow, as you know, that just shows you how pathetic the political landscape has become.
Not really, Chris. Not really. Not if you don't know what they're not trying to do. Is our medical system, is our industry the least efficient and the most expensive? I think the answer is yes, but only from perspective, right? If I thought that the medical system was there to give me medicals, it was there for my health, then I would say yes. But if I believe that they're Rockefeller medicine and they're for profit, then I would understand that they are profitable because they are inefficient. And that's not inefficiency. That's an efficiency. They're a corporation. They're there to make money. They're not there for your health. If it's an expensive procedure, an expensive drug, it's blessed by the system. It's what you get. Whether it works or not, doesn't really matter. All that matters is they make big time money. Somebody said something I wanted to jump on. Rockefeller Corporation is helping start Black-owned businesses here. All right, Darlene, it was on the television news yesterday. Well, Darlene, I don't think that was a lie. I don't think that was a lie. I'll tell you why I don't think that was a lie. Because that pisses off people that didn't have anything, right? If you were a poor white person, you were born with nothing, no pot to piss in, no window to throw it out, trailer park, ain't have nothing, or a shack, mom and dad weren't around, you had to sell drugs to feed your siblings. And all of a sudden you hear about the Rockefeller Foundation wants to help people because of their skin color. Damn it, that's racism. And he'd be right. And it would piss you off. Why? Because you look at your little sister, how my grandfather did. You look at your little sister and your little brothers who had nothing, and you had to sell drugs and rake leaves and cut grass and do anything, maybe sell a piece of tass and to make money to give to them so they could have biscuits so they could go to school, but you couldn't help them buy shoes and clothes. And all of a sudden now somebody steps up and wants to help other people out because of their skin color and ignore your little sister or your little brother ain't got nothing or you ain't got nothing. These are things people just designed to make people angry. and re-embolden what they claim to fight, right? Because how do you make more racism? You get people out there fighting race-based. And we did that all 2020. All 2020. All they did was increase racism. Why? Because they don't know how to fight racism. You don't fight racism with racism. You fight racism with love. You fight all hate with love. That's the only thing that's opposing to hate is love. You know, and Daryl Davis did that. So no, the Rockefeller, that doesn't surprise me. Rockefeller's just working on the industry. That's just another industry. Racism is an industry. Cuckoo virus is an industry. Disease is an industry. All these things are industries. All they want to do is get people on opposite sides fighting, and they'll drum it up, you know. And this is what I just said. This is why I don't pay. This is why I stay out of it. I just sit back and I just watch. I'm like, oh my God, you can see what they're doing because they've been doing this for a long time. They'll take biscuits. You got 2 starving kids at the table. They'll take biscuits and they'll go just put them in and give them to one. And what's the other one going to do? He's going to fight. That's how they make money. And now they're fighting over that one biscuit you put on the table, not the whole kitchen full of biscuits that the Rockefellers got behind it. And that's the same thing that's happening in Texas, all over. There's a town, I was looking at it, there's a town that starts with a G. I think it's Garland, Texas. I'm not mistaken. It's north of Dallas. They all had power. But all the towns all around, nobody had any power. And I was just like, you know what? Is that where the wealthy people live? I don't know nothing about Texas, but I do know around here, the people who almost never lose power is the wealthy people. And the people to get power back the first is the wealthy people, right? Because that's how that works. That's how it always works. The people who are putting money in your campaign and you're a local politician are the people with the money. Those are the people you want to have lights and power, the people to vote for you. It's the Hunger Games, right? It's politics. Rob Peter to pay Paul, and don't be honest about the level of technology or food or automation that everybody can have all the things that they need so they'll stop fighting with each other. That's what that's all about. Grand Rising, Purple Dragon. Grand Rising. I was about to fight Facebook Live last night. I was about to fight Facebook Live. How can you fight Facebook? I don't think you're going to win that fight, Purple Dragon. I don't know if you want to do that. I didn't know you could fight Facebook Live. I know you were about to fight on a Facebook Live, perhaps. I'm not angry for them, just worried about them. I love all people. Yeah, well, see, you know what I want, Darlene, and why when I reply, I'm not replying to any one individual person necessarily. I'm just throwing my thoughts out there. So if any of it makes any sense, you know, run with it. I see them playing a game, right? I don't believe that they should be helping Blacks get businesses. No. I don't think they should be helping whites get businesses. I don't think they should be perpetuating the idea of slave plantations anymore. A business is a slave plantation. Right? We live in a time where everybody can have all the things that they need. They just keep things from people to keep them wanting to have businesses. Everybody wants to be the slave master. Everybody wants to own a business, or everybody wants to work for the biggest slave plantation, the IBM, the Goldman Sachs. But we are in a forced labor camp. We are on a plantation, and I don't believe in forced labor. I think that, you know, I don't think that. I know that. We have a level of technology right now where we could free everybody from forced labor. We actually could end popular slavery, call it an economy, if we wanted to. We can 3D print houses for everybody. Robots can grow all the food for everybody. Everyone can have water from water wells. We can regreen the deserts. We can do anything we want to do. But they don't want to do that. They want the world to keep going the way that it is. As long as everybody's trying to climb to the top and everybody wants to be the Jeffersons, Darlene, we're just waiting for this planet to be destroyed. No, it's not a lie, but they have no idea what they're getting into. Well, yeah, and that is so. I'm not against business. I'm against plantations. I don't think that anybody should own slaves, and because I don't know, you make cups. You still got people who are forced to labor, and and they just chose to labor on your plantation. I don't think these things should exist. I don't think money should exist. If they can take care of everybody, Darlene, I think they should take care of everybody. If they're a government and they have citizens, then bare minimum, they should make sure their citizens that they care for have the bare necessities so they don't die. And I don't even believe in government. I don't think it actually works. I think that's what it's supposed to do, but that's not actually what it does. All right. Pathogentic priming. Oh, a whole nother level. And because it's a trap form, it's a trap for everybody, Darlene. But everybody wants to rule the world and they tap into that.
become that this is somehow controversial or radical type of proposal when it's just normalcy. I mean, I lived in Europe. It's how wealthy, industrialized countries should work.
So what people don't realize is that if Joe Biden was a politician in almost any other Western country, he would be an extreme right winger.
Yeah, he would. I mean, the party of war, party of Wall Street.
He's against socialized medicine. That alone would send him to be an extreme right winger.
Yeah.
And people don't. And we have. He's a centrist. He's not a centrist. He's an extreme right winger. He just doesn't tweet as ugly stuff as Donald Trump. Now, let me just ask you before we let you go. People during this hashtag Forced to Vote, which I was pushing, people have made the comment to me or point to me that you need to be nice to politicians to get them to do things. People, literally grown-up people, Chris, I'm not kidding. People who speak into a microphone for a living said that you have to be nice to politicians to get them to do things for you. Is there a historical example of this working? And don't you have a story that proves the exact opposite with Henry Kissinger? And
yeah, no, that is that shows that you don't understand power, how it works. And the story, I think I told you maybe one of the times I was on your show, it comes from Kissinger's memoirs, where Kissinger's talking about being in the White House. I think it's 1971. The White House is surrounded by tens of thousands of anti-war demonstrators. Nixon has put empty city buses in a ring around the White House as a protective barrier, and he's freaking out, saying, "Henry, they're going to break through the barricades and get us." And that's our job, to make sure that's where politicians are. Politics is a game of fear. And the problem is, we as individuals have no power. We organized have a lot of power, and we have the capacity to make power afraid. I covered the revolutions in Eastern Europe, and once that crowd started booing Ceausescu, he and Elena, his wife, couldn't get to the roof fast enough to get on a helicopter.
No listening?
Once I covered the revolution in East Germany, Honecker sends down, the dictator of East Germany, sends down an elite paratroop division to fire on the demonstrators in Leipzig. Leipzig was the epicenter of the protests. They get there, they won't be deployed. Honecker's finished. It is a game of fear. And I think that, yes, the left is incredibly naive. I don't know about the West Coast left, but the East Coast left, they all come out of the same schools, you know. Louis Scooter Libby went to my prep school. You know, the publisher of the New York Times went to my prep school. I was a scholarship student, but I didn't go to prep school.
That's what he's saying.
And it is completely incestuous. I mean, that you could hold, with pretty significant numbers, reunions for Ivy League graduates within the New York Times. So they come from the same schools. They run in the same social work circles. This is especially true in Washington. They only talk to each other. They all have a kind of contempt. And I'm talking about the journalists. They all have a kind of contempt for people who don't have their noblesse oblige and higher education and good manners and connections. So they are part of the establishment, especially if you work at the New York Times. You are part of the power elite.
Colonizers. And the right to.
We're going to have to make them afraid. We're going to have to organize to make them afraid, because that is the only way they will respond. And getting down on our knees, asking Joe Biden to appoint Bernie Sanders as the Secretary of Labor. I mean, I've just watched Bernie humiliate himself. Since 2016, he was Schumer's bag boy. What was he, the director of outreach?
Yes.
But it just meant that he got to stand in back of Schumer for photo ops.
Is that the I-10? I got Bernie on the I-10.
We have to begin to understand that they serve Goldman Sachs and Raytheon, and that's who they work for. Silicon Valley, Google, Facebook. I mean, look, the last part of the campaign, the airwaves were flooded with anti-Trump message. Was all paid for out of Silicon Valley, completely. Biden was awash in corporate money. So, the only response is to recognize that these people are not going to be reformed. They don't give a damn about what our rights are. I mean, remember that we still remain the most watched, spied upon, monitored, photographed population in human history. And when you are watched 24 hours a day by the government, you can't use the word liberty. That's the relationship of a master and a slave. That's who rules us.
There's no doubt about it. So you would even, so would you recommend, so you pressure and fear is the only thing that works on politicians. All politicians or even like some people had make the distinction. Well, you need to treat corporate Democrats one way, and then you need to treat justice Democrats another way. And I said, they have to be even more afraid of their base because there's going to be tremendous institutional pressure for them to move to the right. And we have to pressure them to move left. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, look, politicians, I'm not going to name names. I know a lot of them. Some of them I even like. But I can tell you, every time I see their number pop up on this, I know they want something.
Yeah, me too.
But they don't begin by saying they want something. But they don't call me unless they want something. No, it's a very strange and weird kind of human pathology that would make somebody want to go into that profession.
I'm sorry, like just process that for a minute. Because it's to me the same thing. I don't know many politicians. I know a few of them. But when this phone rings and I see their name, I know they want something. I already know it. You want me to speak somewhere. You want me to come somewhere. You want to use my skin color for a photo op. You want to, I already know. The same way y'all do. If you don't know politicians, you know people. And what do you do with people who only call you when they want something from you? They don't call you on your birthday. They don't call you on Valentine's Day. They don't call you on Festivus. They don't call you on Christmas. They don't call you when something bad happens to you. Somebody dies in your family. They don't come to the funeral. But boy, when they want something, when they need something, that pick that phone up. Oh, I already know. That's Bob. I know exactly what Bob wants me to do something. You either you don't answer the phone or you say, hey, Bob. All right. Yeah, I know that you're not here for my freedoms. I know you're not here to help me. I know you're not here to give me some money. I know you're not here to do something for me. You're calling me because you want me to do something for you. And when people realize that that's who politicians are, you don't be mad at them. It's not a thing to be mad at or angry. It's just, hey, that's their job. Their job is to make things appear a certain way. I'm not going to play the rest of that. I posted the link. That's Chris Hedges. Beautiful with Jimmy Dore, Desiree. Wonderful, wonderful discussion. Once again, he's just saying the truth. I don't agree with everything that he said, but he's saying the truth. There is no help from within the system. A system designed to enslave you and oppress you by paying politicians power for the more money they bring to the system and the more rights they take from the people. There's no help from within that system. It was obvious to me, Desiree, you just look at the West. Look at how frozen it is and see how the politicians don't give a damn. But the cool thing is people are starting to see it now. Folks are starting to figure out that these people aren't here to help. These people, more and more, I hear people talking about the Invention Secrecy Act. This idea that keeping inventions from you helps you somehow is amazing. It does boggle my mind that people who still believe in it. Like, yeah, well, they got to keep those things safe to keep us safe because there are people around the world that hate us for our freedoms. Freedom, D-U-M-B. Hell yeah, they do. But they don't keep any inventions from us for war. They don't keep any invention from the American population to keep them safe because they've never kept us safe. Does anybody feel safe? Right? They just knocked down those buildings on 9/11 and they know that they got help from within that it wasn't completely an outside job. So they're not here to help people. How many politicians are flying to Texas right now to go down there and demand that the engineers who created free energy devices, almost 4,000 of them out of the 5,000 patents, can start deploying that technology to help out the people who are freezing to death, to warm their pipes so they don't burst? Nobody. None of the politicians. Why? It's not their job to help. It's their job to take campaign contributions to keep their butt warm in that chair, to do what their party tells them to do. There are two political parties that all work for the same industry. So that's that. I was going to find a UFO and put a UFO up here, Desiree, but I'm kind of hoping there's some UFO news. For some reason, I think it would bless the world if we all started talking about the alien topic. To make it viral that these are not aliens. These are just Americans and Russians and Chineseikins, and they all just flying around in very old technology Nikola Tesla developed or somebody found from a crash UFO. And whether it's Nikola Tesla or a crash UFO, it doesn't matter anything. All that matters is people are dying, and Bernie ain't sitting right here in freezing cold Texas. Bernie warm somewhere. This is bullshit. So the only time Bernie was freezing is when he was told to sit there, and he knew there was hot, warm stuff where he was going to go once he got in. What is this, the inauguration or something? Yeah, Bernie ain't freezing. Bernie's doing what he's told. Is what he's always been doing since after he used to march in the civil rights movement. Ever since then, he's been doing exactly what he's told. He's a politician. It's just a job. It's not personal. I tried to map all the Nick plants to see if I could find a good spot on the East Coast. Nope. I don't know what we're talking about, Purple Dragon. I tried to map all the Nick plants. What's a Nick plant? So I can find a good spot. There are no good spots on the East Coast. The East Coast is burned. Well, no, Florida maybe, but north, no, none of that. Not till they get this power straight. If you can own land on the East Coast somewhere, I'd say yes. If you could do anything you needed to do to create heat and power and water and your own structure to live in and grow whatever food you needed to, then I say yes, some freedom on the East Coast. It might be a good place to put some plants down. East Coast is burned. It's owned by Rothschilds and Rockefellers. The only places that you can go to, I think, is out west. You want to go plant plants in a place where you have the freedom to plant plants. And so either one, you got to go to barren lands where plants is not friendly to grow all types of plants, or you got to bring King Georgie back. I'm kind of in can't bring King Georgie back. I miss the king. The king gave us a lot of freedoms that this corporation won't give us. Fear might work on politicians, but politicians don't run the system. They're simply sheep for it. Yes, absolutely. So, which is why when you don't know who the enemy is and you can't see the enemy, all we got to do is do what they don't want, right? You know, some people think the politicians on one side is the enemy, and others think the politicians on the other side is the enemy. Some people think the politicians as a whole are the enemy. But what you know is the enemy doesn't want. The enemy does not want you to own land. The enemy does not want you to be free. And the enemy does not want you healthy. So, you know, going with the art of war, that's all we got to do. And the real enemy will show up. I don't think you, Ron, if you're here yesterday, Bo. I was talking about yesterday. All you have to do is fight the power. And whoever has the real power, they'll show up and meet you on the battlefield. So if everything they do is to hide energy creation from us, if everything they do is to take the land from us, if everything they do is to poison us through spraying pesticides and genetically modified organisms to sell in the grocery store to make them cheap as possible so people buy them and helps disease management, then just go the opposite way. Get healthy. Get you some land, you know, get healthy. Dig a well instead of being on infrastructure water. And the enemy will show up. They'll come knocking at that door. And I guarantee it won't look nothing like Bernie. Won't look nothing like Biden. It will not be Trump. It won't be any of them. But it's fun. They're burning down Trump Plaza today, Beaufont. It's funny what you can find out sitting, waiting for somebody to put some tires on your car in 15 minutes. I found out that people burning people in Philly, and that's a thing. And they found somebody last night that some woman was on fire. I'm just like, you know what? Anybody that's out there fear mongering like this is a plague and you got to burn people up, there's some collusion things that we need to prosecute for. And the other one was that they're knocking down Trump Plaza today. And I'm sure that people did too. I was going to make a post on it. I decided not to. I just, it's fun, but one side is emotional. They might go out there and try to save Trump Plaza. And the other side is cheering like something changed. And me, I'm just sitting back like, you know that they do this for a living. This is their model. It's their MO. They blow up nations to rebuild them. They knock down buildings to rebuild them. Why? Because it's profitable. You put your emotions in it, then there ain't no emotions for them. They just know, yeah, we're going to knock that down and build something new. And we're going to use your tax dollars and your free labor to pay for it. We're going to blow up that nation and kill a bunch of people, steal their resources, and we're going to use your tax dollars and your labor and your war meat to pay for it. It's the same thing. That's why I'm not emotional about it. But I heard it. I was like, oh, they're knocking down Trump Plaza. I know half of the world is, or half of the country is happy, and the other half of the country is sad. To me, it's the same damn thing they always been doing. All right. Free dumb dumbs. Yes, Max. Dummies. Full of dummies. Dumb, dumb, dumb. And people still think they hate us for our freedoms, and they can't even leave the house. They can't invite people over, have a party, a festivus, celebration, do some rituals. They can't even do that. And they're like, hey, it's for our freedoms. No, they hate us because we're blowing up their countries. They want to be free and left alone. They don't want the American way of doing things. They don't want democracy. They don't want none of our bullshit. It does not work here. It won't work there. They don't want your socialism. They don't want your communism, your capitalism. Then it's not because any of the isms don't necessarily work, because I personally don't believe in any of the isms. They don't want it because it's from you. You know, people don't want to be told what to do. They don't want America over there telling them. They don't want Britain or Canada telling them what to do. People's crazy in Britain, America, and Canada. They don't want to do what you do. It's not working in your country. Why would you want it in Brazil? Why would you want it in Bolivia? They don't want your trash down there. You leave your trash where you are. You know what? When they're saying that something to the effect of get your own house in order first. Get your own house in order first. America sucks. Let's be honest. It's dirty, stinks, funky. You know, we still got trash piles. We pile a bunch of trash up and things that we shouldn't even be making anymore. We got starving people all over this country. We got poor people of every race, ethnicity, gender preference, whatever y'all want to go, all over this nation. Babies, little kids, 11, 12 years old. They ain't got no freedoms. Sick and dying, having seizures because you banned medication from them, effective medicines that grow in the ground. Man, had no business in somebody else's country, people. Had no business. That alone should tell you ain't got a government. That alone should tell you that dark forces own and run your government, both political parties. So, question, and I'm not sure how this is going to play out. I'm just things are popping in my head. Like, if you lived in a neighborhood and you were doing pretty well, you had a nice car, you know, your cupboards are full, you got, you know, food in the freezer, stuff like that. Your kids are okay. And you find out that one of the neighbors lost his job or her job, running out of food. They didn't want to ask for help. They need help because most people are proud of my country. They really don't want to ask for help, but they need a lot of help. It's a lot of people out there that need help right now. You can feel it, but they don't want to ask for it. But you know that they need some help. You know, you got money in the bank, you know, you got food in the cupboard, and you got a sustainable job. Let's say you're the government. You can print money. You got an option. You can go over there and stimulate them and take them some food or some money. And it don't cost you nothing because you print the money. Or you can just print the money and give it to another nation. You can print the money and give it to some billionaires because they want to go blow up another. You can print some money and buy some tanks and send them to Africa to destabilize a government so you can keep the minerals cheap. So they can topple their government so you can put a puppet government in. The times we live in are spiritual warfare. All you got is your critical thought. All you got is your intuition. The television lies to you left, right, up, down, ABC, NBC, Fox, MSNBC, BBC. It's all the billionaires' news. They tell you the things that you want to hear. They tell you the things that you want to hear that will get you to do the things they want you to do. Everything is fear and buy. Fear, consumerism. Be scared, buy something so you don't be scared. Then you got to buy something else because you be scared of the other thing, and buy something else, and then be scared of this, and buy something, but you bought that. That didn't have this. Here go version 2.0. Everything is fear and purchase. Our economy is literally fear. Fear and buying unsustainable crap. So dumb and dumb, Max, you got that right. It's free dumb. Bring back King George. Where's King George? I'm going to go find him. Hold on. I'm going to go get a picture of King George, and I'm going to do the last couple comments, and I'm going to run it out. I guess I should look at the headlines real quick. Headlines. This is what's going on in the world that we want the monkeys to know. And see if we can't, see if there's anything new in there, anything important. I don't think it is. That's why I just read the headlines. King George. Let's get a picture of King George. Put him on the big screen. Because I want him back. I mean, what, King George ain't hurt nobody. There you go. There you go. This is. I'm not even sure if this is King George or the George, but this is one of the King Georges. A whole bunch of them. But every last one of them believed in more freedom than your government. All of them believed in more freedom than corporations. So I need to put one of them on the screen. King George, we miss you. I miss you. I miss your freedom and your wisdoms. Please bring back King George freedom. We need a hashtag that we got to get started. Yeah, sit here and think about what if new people join in. Like, what the hell? Who am I supposed to vote for? What are you on the Democrat side or Republican side? What's going on here? What is this? He's talking about he wants King George back. King George was racist. All right, I'm sorry. King George was a colonizer. Hey, listen, King George was more of a man. Did King George go out and fight in the wars? I miss those days. Was he one of the kings that got out there right on the front of the horse, get out there? That's how I know the kings believe in wars. Oh, I can't use that picture. That's how I know the kings believe in the wars. They go right out there, get on that horse and charge with all the brothers. When I see your politicians going and get down off of that high chair that they're sitting in Washington, they're willing to go out there and be the first charge to Bolivia. Go out there and be in the first charge. And I think is this King George? This might be George. Yeah, this is him right here. It's talking about the 4th of July. So I don't celebrate Independence Day. I think a whole lot less people are going to celebrate Independence Day this year. Because you're not independent. You actually didn't go nowhere. You escaped King George, and then the banks came over here and got behind the same coffers and banks behind King George came over here and got behind your government and said you didn't actually go anywhere. The only difference is this one's called this puppet's called United States Incorporated. That puppet was called King George, but that puppet believed in your freedom to grow some cannabis. But King George ain't nothing wrong with cannabis. You can grow that if you want to. You can medicate how you want to. You can go to the store without a face diaper if you want to. All right, we have not government, but we do have a stewards of the nanny state, which is beautiful. Tony, and I didn't even read, Anthony, I didn't even read your comment. I bet you subconsciously I saw it, which is why it agrees with what I just said. But that's part of why I do this. You say things and then other people come into agreement with it, then it can't be too far from the truth because we're all watching these things from different perspectives and different indoctrinations. But he was just, King George is just another steward. Oh, what's the name of the steward on is it Lord of the Rings? The steward. What was his name? The steward king? That's what we have. We don't even have the steward because he dead on the crown. They're not supposed to be on the crown. United States Incorporated ain't supposed to be on that damn crown. Rockefellers and Rothschilds, they not the real king. The real king is you. You the king of you. Nobody's the king of you. Or a transfer of wealth from the bottom to the top. And that's what an economy is, Anthony. That's what the GDP is always. That's what it's designed for. Man created God in his own image. Yes, he did. And that's why people are worshiping whatever's on that damn television. The problem with UFOs and aliens that in order for their existence not to be self-evident to the populace means they work with our government intentionally. Yeah, that's you know what? Damn it, you're gonna send me down. Some people they just like to send me down there. I mean, I do like the alien topic. It's just that I'm gonna lose my voice if I do this tomorrow. That's a good. So, do aliens work with the United States government? Well, let me change my background here. We'll go back from the government that literally doesn't want Texas to have power because they don't give two damns to the sky is a neighborhood. And because I'm just walking through this from I'm thinking out loud. Bernie, I'm not sure. Does Bernie get to stay? Yeah, we'll leave Bernie in the sky. Let's put him back in. He didn't get to be in the sky. Let's make him smaller. Put him back on the mountain or something. I'm sorry. I think that Bernie thing is still fun, especially now. The sky is a neighborhood. You know, I like to believe Beaufort, but yeah, well, there's aliens up there and they nice. They figured it out. They all worked together and got out off of their planet, right? When you go from, what is the Kardashev scale? You've got, I know I'm gonna mess it up, but you got civilization level 0. you know, people that use cow farts and gas and doo-doo and things they found in the soil, black oil and stuff to power things. Then you got civilization one, people that use the power of a solar system. And it was at civilization two, the people that use, or the species that use the power of the galaxy, like using suns, creating, what is the sphere that they say was around suns to capture the energy. Anyway, civilization scales, I won't go through it. There's a lot of damn people out there. I wasn't too far from you hanging out. And it's a whole lot out there. I kind of think now that for every type of ignorant person there is on Earth, there's probably an ignorant species in the galaxy. So are some working with governments? I think there are some psychopathic alien species that are probably working with governments. I don't think any enlightened ones are. I think low budget, but ghetto, got it in the barrio or the hood, trailer park, something low budget. Aliens that ain't, you know, they don't have the resources, they ain't figured it out yet. I think the ones that really figured it out, they're not going to come here and land and say, take me to your leader. Oh, yes, Purple Dragon, thank you. The Dyson Sphere, right. I can play the civilizations. Have y'all heard of the Kardashev scale? I can play that if you haven't heard it. But I know I jacked it up, didn't I? Purple Purple Dragon's like, yeah, Gerard, you wasn't even close. I drinking coffee. It's so much to keep in my brain. And my brain is, my head is, I got a big head, but it's not that big. I can't keep all these terms up there. I hate the King's English. I just want his freedom back. I do believe that there are species that come here that would work with the governments. I do. Have they? I don't know. I mean, a lot of whistleblowers have said it. I kind of think that probably was the case. I do think something was behind the Germans and with the Vril, and I think there's something to it. I don't think that we really know all the truth. I suspect there are species that probably work with the United States Incorporated, and it may not even be that they landed saying, "Take me to your leader." Beep, 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 beep. You know, I think that maybe they grabbed a UFO. But Bob Lazar talked about, right? Like, I think maybe if you were grabbing all the UFOs, and you got the UFOs that the Germans had after World War II. The way Bob Lazar said it, because he said things in the 80s that obviously nobody knew, that most all of them got proved later, which meant that he probably was who he said he was, and he saw what he said he saw, and he worked on what he said he worked on, which is why he's going to die a poor man, because he wasn't trying to make profit out of it. He was just trying to tell the human race that Texas could have power if it wants to. That we consent to people who keep secrets from us. I'll put it in this package. And I know I didn't even answer the question yet, did I? I danced all around that bush. I'm trying to say it in a different way than I've said it before. So we sent probes to Mars, right? The Curiosity rover. If it kept transmitting, and we sent another one, Opportunity and Rover, and there probably are a couple other ones, right? What if the signal kept transmitting, but the signals all went to the same place and kept transmitting, but we had no control over it? The next mission to Mars, we'd probably go directly to, you know, our damn probe is on Mars, and for some reason it got carried and put into another location. I think because we send probes other places, other things send probes here. And I think those probes crash sometimes. And I think sometimes we grab the probes. And so when we go to Mars, we're going to go to where the probes are. So if America and Russia gathered all this stuff together in Britain and they put it in Area 51 or bunkers or whatever, then you'd probably end up having a movie called Contact of the Third Kind. And that was supposed to be based on a true story, where all the aliens went to the place where this signal was coming from, you know. But I think there is no such thing as alien. I think that's a false term. I don't think I don't think there are aliens. They're just beings, just an ecosystem. You know, life develops everywhere that it can, and life has the capability to develop everywhere. And the places where it's not, we're going to go and tinker with things, biology, genetically modify, and try to create something to make it live there. So I'm not too concerned with aliens that are talking to governments, if there are any. Those aren't the ones I want to talk to. I don't believe in government, and I don't believe in alien that's evolved to the level of consciousness that I think I'm tapping into would want to talk to the governments. Right? I don't talk to them, so why would the aliens? I don't call my government for help. Why would the aliens go to the government? Why would aliens go to a conflict-based, power-based, we will abuse you, shoot you, kill you, or steal your resources, or throw you in a cage, or murder you unless you do what we want you to do? That's not an alien I need to talk to. So if it's the greens, the grays, the yellows, the big-headed people with the big eyes, the Hopis, star people, or the Dogons, alien, whoever, if they're going to the governments for help, I have any interest. If they go to the cartels and they say, yeah, we want to work through you. They want to go to the Bloods and Crips. Hey, we want to work through you. They go to the mafia. Hey, we want to work through you to help Gerard. Then you obviously ain't here to help Gerard. So I don't know. If I go to ancient times, because I prefer ancient stories of aliens, because I'm convinced a lot of people nowadays just like lying to me. I have a lot of friends who, yeah, I haven't seen the aliens. They come by. I'm like, all right, I don't disbelieve you. But, if people have been saying it for thousands of years and they're saying that aliens are just like, they come here and give us agriculture, give us math, try to help us, love each other, love thy neighbor, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and kind of the same basic message. The star people weren't here to hurt anybody. The Hopis, what was it, Orion, they said their aliens were from. They weren't here to hurt anybody. There's certain stories of aliens and UFOs that I lean towards both. And you probably already know this about me. I lean to the ones that are resonating in a space I'm resonating in. I'm not in conflict with anybody. I don't have any reason to murder anybody, kill anybody, rob anyone, be upset with anybody over anything. And so if those aliens are here working with the U.S. government, those aren't the aliens I need to talk to. They're probably going to be in conflict with the ones I'm resonating with. But yeah, to me, the sky is a neighborhood. So keep it down. The sky is a neighborhood. I love that song. Don't make a sound. I don't even know the words to it, but I just heard it last week. The sky is a neighborhood. We're not narcissistic. We're not sociopathic. Just accept it's an ecosystem and there are no aliens. And that's where my belief system has changed. I probably did a video last year where I was like, yeah, the aliens, they're the ones who make it and they work together, figure out how to save grandma, work together, love your neighbor, blah, 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 blah. And we finally get off the planet, we defeat gravity. I don't believe that anymore. I just think the whole world is everything is an ecosystem. Like, to me, that's as illogical as saying from Europe or Africa, oh, Native Americans, they figured it out. They make it. Let's say, because who was it, the Mayans or the Aztecs that made the hot air balloons? And they proved that they had flying devices, right? Not just because of the geoglyphs. And I know this would make some people upset. I don't know if the geoglyphs were there for aliens. There was some tomb that they found in South America where they found a type of fabric that was like a microfiber, almost something that you could use to hold hot air. And there's no reason to make a garment where it was so dense that it could hold hot air, that they were probably using helium, or they were using some form of gas, hot air or something, to create V-monitors or flying devices, and maybe only the king had it. And the king had to make shapes in the desert. I don't know, maybe. But so if you saw that and it came on over to Egypt, landed, and they brought some cocaine, because y'all know the Egyptian mummies, they was getting high, and it wasn't out their supply. It came from South America. Cocaine didn't grow over there. So somebody made it over there. Sky gods may not have been aliens. They could have been from over there. But if they came from South America and they made it over here, and we say, oh, well, they're in the air, they made it off of their continent, so they probably learned how to work together, love grandma, work together as unity, blah, 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 blah. And it's illogical. It's illogical. So I don't have that belief anymore. I mean, I try to think of things as above, so below. So saying aliens are here to help is illogical as saying people from another continent are here to help because they discovered a level of technology that we haven't. So I think what we're going to find in space is exactly what we're going to find here. Michio Kaku, he speculated, one of my favorite theoretical physicists. He said that if we actually finally get off into space and we stop being stupid down here, he said you're probably going to find mostly destroyed civilizations. You'll probably find planet after planet after planet after planet of just completely destroyed, nuked, destroyed civilizations that didn't make it. And part of his theory, which makes sense to me, is because if you everywhere you dig down in this world now, you're going to hit a civilization. Every civilization is all lost here. They've all gone extinct. 99.99999% of every civilization on Earth and monkeys have all gone extinct. So once you get up in space, the vast majority of planets we run into would all have killed themselves. And I think that kind of answers the question as to why space is so quiet. Because when you put species on a planet with limited resources who are all in conflict with each other, they all eventually get behind kings and governments to fight the others for resources. Their populations explode, the resources are limited, and eventually they develop enough weapons to murder the entire planet. And they never get out from underneath the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and economies and consumerisms and capitalisms and communisms and socialisms and racisms and conflictisms. So that's probably why space is so damn quiet. The sky's a neighborhood, but the 100 million, bazillion, gazillion galaxies just right where my finger is are probably just quiet because very few develop that level of consciousness where they're no longer in conflict with each other. All right, last couple comments, and I had to go because I got to pee. And thank you for that one, Bofon. Yeah, I don't even know if I answered the question. Did I answer his question? I don't know if I did. I think there are aliens who talk to governments. I don't know if they're any talking to the government right now. They've done it in the past. They talked to the kings in the past. They were the kings in the past because of the kings list in Egypt and Sumeria documented that kings were living for thousands of years. And I don't think those are humans or pure humans. The Egyptians, not the Egyptians. If the Mayans left South America and went to go talk to the Egyptians, they wouldn't go talk to the poor people. They're going to go talk to the kings. So yeah, they probably are. Aliens probably do work with governments, but those aren't the aliens I want to have a conversation with. Those are the ones who believe in my enslavement. Those are the ones who ain't helping with nothing. Those are the ones who, if any conscious aliens out there that I resonate with, those are the ones that I need to talk to. And they probably are already talking. I think they're here helping us in different ways, subtly. I think they send people here and they send transmissions here, and the Nikola Teslas get it. They create the technology to free everyone, but we have a government that created that law, the Invention Secrecy Act. Did I post a link? I did. The Invention Secrecy Act of 1951. As long as you got that in place, then, and this is probably why they made it, because maybe they're working with the dark aliens, the archons, the demons, whatever you want to call them. And they say, hey man, if y'all want to keep your power, you want to stay in power, you want to keep your slave plantation. Well, here's a problem. There's some free slave plantations out there where the slaves got free, and they got two-wave radios. And they're broadcasting on that two-wave radio to the slaves on your plantation how to free themselves with free energy, with new devices, with Nikola Tesla consciousness and creations. You need to shut off the radio waves. If you don't shut off the radio wave, you're going to lose your plantation. Your slaves going to learn how to get free. And they're not going to be enslaved to your infrastructure anymore. And so maybe they create technologies to block those transmissions. Maybe they write laws to stop you from creating what would free your species. I don't know. But again, I think as above, so below. And that's not too far-fetched because that's what Harriet Tubman did. She got free. She learned how to get free, and she went back and tried to teach the other slaves how to get free. As above, so below. If you don't know your history, you're going to be doomed enslaved to it being recycled in a different flavor in the future. All right. I just harvested cauliflower and cabbage and greens this week. It's possible to plant seeds. Yes, it is. It absolutely does. I've seen your garden. Your garden is wonderful, girl. Keep at it. I'm getting ready to, I can't plant my garden this year. My garden's going to be humongous, huge with a Y. I did the biggest garden of my life last year. I grew all my own food. It's coming next year. I'm gonna try to grow everybody's food that's around me. But that's a project I'm working on. Don't know what you got till it's gone. Nope, you don't, Heather. You don't know the freedoms you got till it's gone. You don't know the health you got till it's gone. You know the woman or the man or whatever you got till it's gone. And if you lost that something that was good, then there was something in us that needed to change. All right, I'm done. Let me see. There's nothing to talk about. Aliens. Either they deal with the populace directly or they have gone their own way not to. Or they have gone out their way not to. I think it's more subtle, Beaufont. I think that they help quietly, like Harriet Tubman. I think they come and free those who are centric to the free mind. What did Harriet Tubman say? She said, I freed thousands of slaves and I could have freed thousands more if they only knew they were slaves. I think maybe aliens contact those who want to be contacted, those who want to be slaves. And that's it. That's it. But I think we got to save ourselves. I don't think that there's, hey, come help us and save us. I think they help in subtle ways. I don't think that they can show up and help in any massive way. Because you know what? Seeing how you didn't let me get off of the topic. That's what I would do. I think that's what I would do. If we make it out into space, would we go and aggressively help a species that doesn't want help? Or will we in some way subtly transmit to them that they are slaves, and if they want help, we'll help them? Sending the plans to free, to creating devices for free electricity in their sleep. The same way we do that with mice, where we take a memory out of a mouse and put it into another mouse. But we do it in a very draconian way, low budget, middle evil way. But they would do it in some sort of conscious or spiritual way. I would. But I would realize that, you know what? I'm not going to help a species of alligators get out into space. They're killing each other. They're murdering their babies. They're blowing each other, and they're fighting over meat. I wouldn't want those things in space because they wouldn't fulfill. If there are sides here, maybe there's sides in the solar system or in the universe. And I wouldn't want to create new players that are just going to be on the dark side. I would only help those who were conscious enough to trend toward the light and think the way that we do. I think maybe the light helps the light and the dark helps the dark. So the dark goes to government and the light goes to individual people. I would, but I wouldn't do it aggressively. I wouldn't show up with a spaceship. You want people who are really ready in space. You wouldn't want those species that aren't ready. You wouldn't want psychopathy in space. That's what I'd do. All right, Dyson sphere. Yep, that's what it's called, Dyson sphere. Sociopathic aliens does not bode well for us. No, they don't. That it's funny. You asked the question, and I never would have thought about it unless you asked it. And that is, yeah, I don't think I want anything to do with what is his name? Thor, something Thor. Not that Thor. I know y'all talking about the Thor that's here. The alien, the one that they say met with Eisenhower. Thor, greatest Thor, whatever his name was. I think I did a video on that a while ago. Yeah, I don't think he was a psychopathic alien. They say he was the one he was trying to get the plans for nuclear weapons to take them back, I guess, to his planet. So they haven't made nuclear weapons yet, but I guess they're traveling space. And he was just one that made it here. I don't know. It could be possible. I mean, it makes sense. We went to China and got, what's his name? William something, went to China and found fireworks, brought them back here, or brought them back to Britain and they put them on ships and took over the world. Maybe, I don't know. So below, or so above, so below, meaning they are as well. Good and bad aliens, I believe too. Yeah, that's where my mind is, Christine. I didn't believe that before. I think that's what I believe now. I think it's just an ecosystem and they're just like us. It's a neighborhood. You got good neighbors and you got bad neighbors. All right. I was just telling Cuckoo Christ Susan that China was about to land on Mars at the same place that a Viking too, and I bet they find something. Why go to the same place? You know what, Purple Dragon? I agree with your line of thought. Why would they go back to the same place? I think they went to the dark side of the moon, but I also agree that we're not going to find anything from it. Governments work with governments. They all work together. They're all on the same team of us being slaves. And if the helium 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 UFOs that would free their population are up there, they're not going to come back and tell their population, which means they damn sure ain't going to come back and tell us. All the 1% agree that the 1% should remain the 1% and the 99% should remain us. The ruling class isn't going to free the ruled in any other nation, nor would they free the ones that they rule. You know, all governments are about power, you know, and as a system, they want more power. They don't want less power. So they're not going to tell us the truth about what they find up there. The only thing the UFOs wanted is trading for fresh earth vegetables. Jimmy, I think that's the movie K-Pac. Did you watch that movie too much? Coming back every 206 years. Only last time their sister ended up on a dissection table by his had to say sorry. Yeah, I don't think they want our vegetables, Jimmy. I don't think there's anything that we got. I can't see it. Oh Lord have mercy, he did it in Russian. I don't think there's anything that we have that they need. I think if aliens really, you know, not really, I'm sure that they do come here. If they really wanted something, they would just take it. Ouch, burn my heart. If they wanted something, they would just take it. Like us. Did Spain come to South America and say, you know what, some things we want, let's trade, let's work together? No, they came here, realized y'all ain't got guns, cannons, and swords, and war horses and war dogs. We're going to steal it. Same thing Shaka Zulu did, same thing the Comanches did, same thing the Aztecs did, same thing Britain did, same thing the Romans did, same thing the Huns did. And so if they all did it, I'm pretty sure a lot of the aliens did it too. All right, that's it. I'm done. Good to speculate, but nobody knows. We're going to end that on a disclaimer. Powah, and knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And when you live in a time, well, knowledge is power and keeping it from people is what makes it more powerful. And when you live in a time where your governments don't trust you enough to tell you what's true about power and people are dying because they don't have power, it's time to leave the system. It's the only thing you're going to do to put fear in the system. The only way you're going to fight the power or rage against the machine is you first got to stop raging for the power and fighting for the machine. Merge all that together. Anyway, Gerard, I got to go. Got a few things to do today. What is today? Today is Wednesday. Good. They got another snowstorm coming tomorrow. Yay! Thank you, Texas. We appreciate it. We do everything we can for y'all to tell them y'all need to release free energy so Texas can have power again. But y'all done send all your cold weather up here. That's just how it goes. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. Please protect yourself if you're humping, because there's a lot of things out there you need to be worried about, and ain't none of them the cuckoo. The pandemic's been here since the beginning of time, and if you ain't got an immune system because you eat donuts and Twinkies and you had to take out and have an expensive dinner on your date, give some chocolates, your immune system ain't working. You probably gonna get everything that they got. Happy non-Valentine's Day. Don't know what any of that meant. This Gerard, gotta go. Y'all have a great day.
Break the chains that bind me, 'cause I wanna break the chains that bind you. Do you wanna set the world free, have perfect harmony? Isn't it time for that? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people from the bottom to the top? Make modern slavery stop. Do you wanna let go of the prisoners? See everyone happy. We can have this and more if we open up the doors. Well, what do you think about that? wanna free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, boom, free the people and Mother Nature too? Close down all the zoos. Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna free,